It was a gathering of business leaders, policy makers, politicians, royal fathers, diplomats and market regulators as the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce inaugurated its 16th president. In their remarks, the UK Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ms. Harriet Thompson, and the Minister of Industries, Trade and Investment emphasized the value of UK-Nigerian trade.
The relationship between my country, the United Kingdom, and Nigeria is incredibly long, it's incredibly broad, it's incredibly deep. When I think about the work that the British government is doing here in Nigeria, it spans security, so helping to tackle the crisis in the northeast, for example, providing life-saving assistance to millions of people. It takes in democracy, strengthening the democracy of Nigeria, seeing it move on, deepen with each election that passes and hopefully again through this weekend. It covers development, working to provide essential services with the Nigerian government, such as health and education. But the bit that I focus on from my position here in Lagos is the commercial relationship, strengthening Nigeria's private sector, building the economic development, the economic growth, and trying to support the government of Nigeria to find ways to create the 2 million jobs a year that are needed to keep up with population growth. The conversations that I have with people in the private sector leave me feeling optimistic about Nigeria's future. People are achieving great things. They're doing that despite the somewhat challenging circumstances. It's encouraging to see Nigeria move up the ease of doing business rankings that the World Bank puts out each year, but we still have to recognize that it can be hard to do business. Part of my role here is to facilitate increased business between the UK and Nigeria.
As a government, we believe that Nigeria is very well positioned as a partner of choice for Britain in Africa. Our focus on an economy beyond oil agrees with the major set pieces of a British economy beyond Brexit. If Britain looks beyond Europe, it would find a credible, resource-rich, and talent-endowed partner in Nigeria. Whether the conversation is about education, financial services, mining, agribusiness, technology, energy, or healthcare, there are abundant counterparts in our burgeoning populace. As a ministry, we are available to work with the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce to improve the level of trade between Africa and Britain from the paltry 2% to a more respectable level over the next few years.
Sir Martin Sorrell, the British billionaire and CEO of S4 Capital, in his keynote, shared his optimism of Africa's growth prospects, including Nigeria.
It's not that Nigeria needs the UK, it's the UK needs Nigeria. With that shift, trade with countries such as your own is going to become even more important. And what multinational CEOs look for is stable and strong growth. They look for strong growth, they prefer strong growth to weak growth, but they look for stability too. So I think it's absolutely essential, and there are critical issues in the Nigerian economy and the African economies around the obvious things, around infrastructure, education, security, corruption, that have to be dealt with to provide that base. So whilst I retain my optimism about Africa, Nigeria, 200 million people will be very significant, and I'll finish by saying this. So I had conversations with native Nigerians today, a number of them, and there was generally, I would say, a slightly pessimistic, if I put English understatement, flavor to the conversations. The really interesting thing is the one FDI conversation, the one inward investment conversation I had was the most optimistic. The government is taking some measures to try, maybe not enough, but some measures to improve the base of the economy, and that looking forward, the prospects for FDI are actually better than maybe even locals believe. So with that sort of slightly more optimistic tone, let me say I'm delighted again to be with you, delighted to have the opportunity for the first time to be in Lagos and to be in Nigeria, and I will, if invited, come back again. Finally, O'Shea.
The major highlight of the event was the inauguration of Mr. Falowo and the presentation of his executive team.
I have the singular honor to decorate you and invest you formally as the 16th President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce.
Over the next 2 years, we desire to position the NBCC as the premier bilateral chamber of commerce in Nigeria. To achieve this, the Council will embark on specific and measurable activities during the period. We have a 12-point agenda, which is displayed on the screen, but in the interest of time, I will only speak about 4 of them. One, which is actually at the heart of most members of the chamber, is the completion through commissioning of the NBCC Plaza and dedication of a facility within the plaza to host a trade desk and a business incubation center, which will help British and indeed businesses from other parts of the world who come into Nigeria to be acculturized, to be shown the way business is done in Nigeria, and to be introduced to good partners that will ensure that whatever endeavor they plan to have in Nigeria becomes successful. Another very key one that I will mention is the establishment of a Nigerian trade center in the UK to be located in central London. I must say that conversation has commenced with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and we hope to partner with the Director of International Trade of the UK to create what we call something that will be enduring, that will not require too much of spend from government institutions or the NBCC, but that will be catalyzed by these institutions and will be funded by interested private sector. This is one of the things that we would like the private sector, indeed our members, to assist with. Finally, before the last, I would like to point your attention to our drive to bring back British businesses, what we call the BBBB. As Martin Sorrell said, contrary to what ought to be, we do not really have a huge trade relationship with the British anymore. One of our intentions over these 2 years is to ensure we attract British businesses to the Nigerian economy. And on the social front, we also want to revive the British Gulf Corp, which used to be a platform for bringing Nigerian and British businesses together. Now, I've noted those 4 out of the 12-point agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, these plans cannot be executed successfully without the support and dedication from the Council and the Executive Committee of the Chamber. Kindly, therefore, permit me at this point to unveil members of the Executive Committee of the Chamber for the period 2019 to 2021. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Mrs. Bisi Adeyemi, Deputy President, Mr. Alan Davis, Deputy President, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, Vice President, Mr. Uamai Igen, Vice President, Prince Bimbola Olashore, Vice President, Mr. Wole Oshin, Treasurer, Mr. Akin Oshuntoki, Chairman, Programs Committee. Please come to the stage. Come to the stage as I call your names. Uye Akpata, Chairman, Professional Services Group. Femi Awoyemi, Chairman, Advocacy Committee. Dr. Joe Dada, Chairman, MSME Committee. Chief Sumbo Onitiri, Chairman of the NBCC Plaza Committee. Pastor Sheyi Adeyemi, Chairman of the Learning and Education Committee. Mr. Udeme Ufot, Chairman, Publicity and Communications Committee. Mr. Akim Oguniran, Chairman, Construction and Real Estate Committee. Mr. Osage Okubo, who unfortunately is unavoidably absent today, but is represented. Osage is the chairman of the Oil and Gas Committee, and Mr. Shola Obabori, chairman, Agriculture and Export Trade Group. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the very brilliant, it's only busy that it's a woman amongst all of us. Something is wrong somewhere. Well, I guess we have to be more gender sensitive. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome along with me what I call the dream team. Many of them are leaders in their respective sectors, and I think I'm quite fortunate to have such a wonderful, wonderful team to work with me.
The British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ms. Harriet Thompson, and former President of Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, Prince Adeyemi Adefulu, both gave their expectation from the new leadership.
Well, we've had a really positive initial conversation with the new president of the NBCC, and we're very much looking forward to working with them to explore in greater detail their intention for the Nigeria-British Trade Centre and how we might work with them on that and their various other initiatives. But we have a very clearly shared objectives of boosting that trading relationship. So we're going to work in tandem to see what we can each bring to the party to make that succeed.
Well, I think the point was well made. And these things don't happen overnight. But you've got to be consistent and you've got to be there. You've got to find areas of relevance that are relevant to the local economy and to the British economy as well. I think the presence here today was quite impressive. The British business group was very much here, and a substantial part of the Nigerian business group. So I think the foundation has been laid or relaid, and I believe that that can be built upon.
With a new leadership in place at the NBCC, expectations are that the Chamber will actualize its dream of completing its plaza and also revitalize the volume of trade between UK and Nigeria.